Taking 17. 3 minutes to go in the third. Up it goes and through the well. Yes, sir, Nick Young. What'd you say about him getting hot? Now Paul George answers right back.
Now and a half. Hill turns the corner. Quick shot again. Oh, good off the hand of Paul George. Elijah scores his first two of the night. And the Jazz with momentum, but not.
Paul George to the basket. Finish 1.5 minutes of the quarter.
Get into it. Yeah, he did a good job. And a really comfortable shot, too.
Nice pass.
Really good.
Ellis.
They just switch it.
Paul George for three. Got it.
Yeah.
George against Baum. Moody, they get the switch. Griffin's on him. 3 ball. Bingo.
Now Paul
George
has not scored this quarter.
over Jordan.
He's the one who fixed it.
Gets the shot blocked. Great help by Paul George coming from the weak side.
They've done it all night to blame. There's a reason this team's won 11 out of 13 games. What a pass.
Be able to save it.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Paul George, your leader. Chris Paul, and without your shooter, J.J. Redick. There's a shoot of the second half, 5th of the game for Paul George. George!
What superstars do, Ralph. The pace, the rhythm is all Paul George's game. He's dictating everything out there.
With Paul George before the game, as we did, John, sounds like he's getting more and more comfortable physically, trusting himself on what he can do, like that. Whiteside denied, but
I haven't seen the pace being pushed enough.
Allen on the pick and pop. And those two have worked some nice two-man game tonight.
George Hill getting in his way.
Yeah, twice. Chalmers trying to take it to him. George over him. Got it to go. And the foul. Oh, what a shot from Paul George.
Mario Chalmers felt like he held his ground there. But George on the fade
With a foul, and Paul George will go to the line. Backdoor swiped away by George. Down court to Robinson in transition. He'll finish.
You know, Whiteside's not even looking, and then they collide on accident, and he gives him a little shove with the elbow, and Paul George didn't like it.
Here's Paul George. He is 29. Winslow all up in him. George trying to shake him. Difficult look. Eddie!
Sixers taking on the Indiana Pacers. That is George. Bucketed 9 tries, give him 8. George, the lead. Right. C.J. Miles, Monte Ellis in the backcourt. That is Paul George. Bounce into a 3. Backdoor for Ellis. Are you advocating seeing your turkey fly first before you eat it?
Always a good indicator.
Sixers only 40 points to this point.
Every time they've run that play from that side.
Cheer of the night with that throwdown.
Like the Pacers' pace, they're running it up the floor. And Monte Ellis for 3.
Get into Thunder, guys who are crashing the boards, create.
Right, being strong with the ball at the rim.
And here's a nice pass to him.
Assist on 9 baskets.
Have to get to the free throw line. Paul stopping from getting to the rim. Paul George attacks the rim. Drawing the foul, couldn't he?
Sure could have had it, but drawing the foul. You just have to wait till everybody got set. Let it go.
Here's George again.
He's playing good enough. Let it go. Y'all ready. Good job by Paul.
Here comes Paul George, and he will go up and under.
Some anticipation.
Again, Paul George has not scored here in the 4th. He gets inside, draws the foul, banks it
It's
in.
a basket.
He's got 39. Two-man game, Hill and George.
You gotta shoot. Yeah, you gotta shoot it. You got it.
That's a big-time shot by George.
Yeah, shoot that one.
Paul George.
And one. Yes!
Made it! And a foul! Paul George!
Sure did.
What a
Smart enough
shot.
to get that one going to the rim.
High 51.7% against Indiana back in February, and that's
He's not rushing anything. He's not forcing anything, so he's got more time to take. And be on balance, and that's what Paul George did.
George, free throw line, separation, move by Paul. Good, strong rebound. Here's George from...
Oh, yeah!
Three-pointer!
Yeah! PG! Way to knock it down!
Paul George! Jordan Hill.
What we talked about. This is the play they run.
Here's George. Really active around the rim. George drives on Batum. Hangs 8 in the quarter, 25 on the night.
He's the offense.
Loose ball. Here's Indiana 3-on-1.
Oh, great pass. Great. Oh, young fella missed it. He was going for the big dunk. Pacers get it back.
Very fortunate they get it back. And here's George Hill for three.
Online.
Paul George 25 through 3 quarters.
Good screen.
Now he's going to put it up.
To
And
the rim where only he could get it and make it.
here's a 3 from PG.
Yes.
Good.
You got Walker on Paul. Let's raise up.
Backs his way in. And
Who this team is when they're good, Dave.
Yeah, they're really all year is George.
Yeah.
The NBA. Steve Kerr last night said the second half or after the contact. Paul George into the paint.
Just pushed him right out of the way and got right underneath the rim.
You look at games clock. Skips to an open Stuckey. Got his own miss. George is open for 3.
Sprinted to the other side and hit a shot in the slot for a long 3.
Here's George. Now, Love had that great first quarter where he was 4 of 7, 14 points. He's made only 1 basket since.
They're a little better defensive team than you think because they got Howard-handed, so it's easy for him to throw it to his left.
Ariza missed it. Got to play physical against this Houston team.
Well, you're also in a playoff type run, so you got to expect. I love this. He's ready.
Missed a 3, rebounded by Howard, and the bad pass taken by Paul George.
Well, he made a really good play after that too, because if he doesn't stay
5. He's 4 for 10 on the night. George to give the Pacers the lead.
And 14. Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown for the NBA.
Well, because he's a complete player, Mike. He can't.
The other way. Pass to Turner. Beautiful. Under 4 minutes. Good use of timeouts by Vogel. George again to Mahimi. Oh, the Thunder hooking up again. Turns the shot from the man he idolized growing up.
You got to get her
Tonight for Oklahoma City, just 2 of 16. Miles Turner. Paul George on the attack to Mahimi.
They're going to make a nice play, but I'm not sure.
No, George working hard to lose defense, and the guys who make the all-defensive team over time. In addition to being solid out of the season on 11 attempts. Back to George, fakes the 3, takes the 3, and that down.
George is first. There's Paul George, and he hit young rookie out of Oregon. Really played well last night against the Warriors, getting a little more time with all the injury into this game with 7 points on 2 of 3 shooting. They were waiting for him that area. No, a little bit too low for Omri as he's running hard like that. Boy, a 3 even more remarkable.
5-point swing because they didn't have to take the ball out of the basket. Once again, look at Hill get inside.
Wow, said it well. He really feel as the Coaches Association just embarrassed for the league.
Same thing before tonight's game.
Anderson staying in front of Paul George pretty good, but Paul gets 6'10", can play on the perimeter like a guard.
3-pointer, good. Paul, there he is. Now Cousins on a switch. 2 to 86.
Wow, 24 points. Yeah, the final 21 in the game against the Pistons a few nights back. Oh, that's a good, strong
players to the basket.
Monte Ellis first year with the Pacers. And first 4 from downtown. They've opened up a 15-3 lead.
He tried to go on a reverse.
Oh, dang, fanned on the catch, and here comes Paul George in the open court. Oh, the pull-up 3. Paul George. Another 26 points per game in their playoff series against the Houston Rockets. Starting to score with ease now off their ball movement. Oh, man, Paul George.
Launching pad, it was over.
George gets all the way. Offensive rebound from Mahimi. That hurts.
That's twice now. This is their 3rd shot on this sequence.
Oh, that's a deflating possession. Pacers upset.
Deflating possession from Miami.
Paul George. Oh, he comes through again when his team needed him. 29 for George. Pacers up 4. Paul George. It's good.